it all game. We are motivated. We are dedicated. Come on now. Come on now. We will win. We are the best on the field. And we in the field like all day like all night like on the blue light, offense like defense like this squad like house call like and it sound like and it sound like and it sound like.
Welcome to the Short Sports Show. I'm your host, Daniel Short. Today is Wednesday, October 26th, 2016. And we have a bunch to talk about. College football news, the NFL, and of course, the NBA season has tipped off, and pretty interesting start. Derrick Rose with the Knicks, and they didn't look too good. LeBron James and the Cavaliers, on the other hand, looks like they're just going to dominate the East for another year. And on the Western side, we saw the Warriors get smacked by the San Antonio Spurs in a surprising 29-point thumping by the San Antonio Spurs over the Golden State Warriors. And, of course, tonight, Wednesday, Los Angeles Lakers, brand new Los Angeles Lakers, the first game without Kobe Bryant. Not being on the roster. It's tough. Of course, I'm wearing my Lakers gear. I got it going. I'm pumped for tonight. But of course, we're going to talk college football news first. We got Heisman Watch. We have Wisconsin linebacker and another Wisconsin defensive player out for the season now. Obviously, we're going to recap Week 8 and talk about Week 9 predictions. Again, thank you guys for joining. Follow me on Twitter at Short Sports Show and become a fan on Facebook, The Short Sports Show, if you're not already. And let's go ahead and start with InnerGrind first. You guys already know Sleeves is done for this week. The 20% off, it's gone right now. Might come back soon. Still waiting to find out. But right now we have InnerGrind. Go ahead and check those guys out. Today's show is sponsored by InnerGrind. Based out of Houston, Texas, let former Texas State linebacker Michael Rakpo help you reach your fitness and nutrition goals. With personal training classes that start at $40 a session, why not be a part of this rising program? Now, whether your goals are to lose weight, gain muscle mass, find the right off-season program, or even for you ladies out there to get that booty blast, you can do it all with InnerGrind. Not in the Houston area, not a problem. InnerGrind has a program that is personalized just for you. InnerGrind has everything you need to meet your personal and healthy goals. NFL linebackers like Titans Brian Orakpo, Chiefs Derrick Johnson, Buccaneers running back Charles Sims, and San Diego Chargers cornerback Craig Mager, along with many other young athletes, have already begun. Find your personalized workout and nutrition plan at InnerGrind.com and call 832-475-2829. That's InnerGrind.com, 832-475-2829. Unleash your inner grind. And again, we'll start with college football news first. Wisconsin linebacker Jack Cincy is out for the season with a torn pectoral muscle. He was the team's leading tackler with 60 tackles and ranked second in tackles for loss with 7. He recorded 15 tackles against Ohio State 2 weeks ago and was named the Big Ten's Defensive Player of the Week. He sustained an injury on the last drive of the second quarter against Iowa this past week, but still returned to play the second half. But this is a huge blow. They've already lost multiple defensive players for the year. They lost Chris Orr, another linebacker, to a season-ending ACL injury on the first drive against LSU. And back in Week 1, they lost their nose tackle for this game. They just continued to lose players. But somehow this defense continues to step up and make plays when needed and dominate. Wisconsin goes on the road, host Nebraska this week. Nebraska undefeated, 7th in the country. 7-0 Nebraska goes on the road to play Wisconsin. We'll talk about that game here in just a bit. And should be a very interesting, low-scoring, kind of boring game until the end. Clemson running back Wayne Gallman says he expected to play against Florida State after suffering a concussion against NC State on October 15th, though he won't practice in full pads before Thursday. Now, Gallman went through the concussion protocol during Clemson's bye week last week, and while he said he did not experience headaches and does not believe he suffered a concussion, you might say otherwise when you look at what happened. Now, he was knocked unconscious by NC State safety Travius Wright after catching a pass in the first quarter of the Tigers' win 2 weeks ago. And he said he doesn't remember anything after that until he returned to the training room nearly 20 minutes later. Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney said Gallman has argued with trainers and said he wanted to stay in the game at the time of the injury, but Gallman said he has no recollection of that incident. So most likely, I mean, he got knocked out, literally knocked out. And he believes it was a dirty hit by Travius Wright and actually wanted one of the Clemson players to retaliate and hurt him, which is probably not the best thing you want to say. But anyways, he should be back to play Florida State, another game we will talk about here in just a second. David Shaw, Stanford head coach, has decided to bench quarterback Ryan Burns and instead start Keller Christ as the quarterback in an attempt to jumpstart Stanford's terrible offense right now. The Cardinals are only 4-3, but haven't been scoring. A year after leading the entire Power 5 in offensive points per drive, Stanford has only scored one non-garbage time touchdown in 4 games. They are now ranked 126 out of 128 FBS teams. They rank 126 out of 128 schools in points per game right now. The offensive line has been, majority of the problem. They've struggled to open up any running holes for Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey is not looking too good. The Cardinals have failed to average 3 yards per carry in 3 of their past 4 games, and the team has already allowed more sacks with 21 than it did throughout all of 2015. Now Burns, he played his worst game in a very weird and boring, bad game against Colorado. It was a 10-5 loss. 10-5, not a baseball score, a football score of 10-5. Throwing 3 interceptions and posting a season-low QBR of 17.3. And this season, he finishes with 1,058 yards, 5 touchdowns to 7 interceptions on the season. Thankfully, Stanford has a chance to get on a winning page here, something to hopefully get this offense going. Not only do you start a new quarterback, you go to Arizona, who's 2-5 right now, but Arizona winless in conference play. The Wildcats are also starting a new quarterback, and they'll be without a starting cornerback. So, other than being on the road, it helps out Stanford that the Wildcats aren't playing too well either. Maybe you get it back going. Maybe. And hopefully. Because Stanford is... I like David Shaw. I like Stanford. I, of course, like Christian McCaffrey. And to see this offense struggle is strange. It really is. Now, of course, we come to the midseason of college football right now. Through 8 weeks of the season, going into 9 weeks. Crazy how just quick it is gone. Actually, we're past really the midway point. I guess week 6 would have been week 6 or 7. But either way, we're doing it now. The Heisman Watch. We're getting closer, and a lot more players are starting to separate themselves. And I really think it's down to just 3 players right now. Now, one player I'm holding off on because I want to see what he does against Florida State, and that's Deshaun Watson. I'm holding off on him to include him on this list. So, basically in order right now, we've got Lamar Jackson. We all know Louisville quarterback. Jackson continues to put up huge performances. On Saturday, he did incredibly well. 355 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. His 4 touchdown performance broke Louisville's touchdowns responsible for a record, and right now he's on pace to break that mark of FBS record overall. Right now he's got 2,161 yards, 18 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, 58.3% completion percentage, 908 rushing yards, 16 rushing touchdowns, and he's averaging 7 yards per carry on the ground. Right now, he's just, and with Louisville where they're at, yes, they've lost the game, able to bounce back and still get into that college football playoff picture. Lamar Jackson has to be included, and right now has to be the front runner. Second to that is Jake Browning, quarterback of Washington. A lot of people are starting to talk about him, but it seems like they're hesitant to talk about the Huskies quarterback. Now, Browning, he leads Power 5 quarterbacks in passer efficiency rating and is on a 3-game interception-free streak. And let's knock on wood that we didn't just jinx him. Now, during that same time span, he's thrown for 12 touchdowns. So in that 3-game time span, 12 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. And undefeated. Not bad. Not bad at all for a sophomore quarterback. Now, no Power 5 quarterback has at least 13 touchdown passes, and he boasts a better touchdown to interception ratio than Browning. No one does. No one has that. Also, again, Washington's undefeated, 8-0. Fourth, they're in there. They're in there. The Huskies are in there. For his season stats right now, 1,700 yards passing, 26 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, 68.6% completion percentage, and a 90.2 QBR rating. Now, Lamar Jackson has, I believe, a 91-point-something QBR rating. But if you look at the completion percentage, if we start looking at the quarterback spectrum, now obviously Lamar Jackson's running the ball as well and doing an incredible job of that. But if we're looking at quarterbacks, if we're looking at the actual position of passing the ball, there's a 10% difference between the completion percentage difference between Lamar Jackson and Jake Browning. Yes, Lamar Jackson has more yards, but 26 to 2 interceptions, a touchdown to interception ratio compared to 18 to 4. And then you have the 68.6%, nearly 69% completion percentage by Jake Browning. It's got to keep him up there. And honestly, with a lot of people, obviously, my pick to start the season was Deshaun Watson winning the Heisman. Okay, still has a chance. Deshaun Watson definitely still has a chance, especially if he puts up a huge game against Florida State on Saturday night on the road. It should boost his Heisman Watch. It should put him back up there in the top 3. Reason I say not right now is because you look at the 2 quarterbacks above him, and right now I don't think he's better than Jake Browning, and I don't think he's better than Lamar Jackson right now. So why would he be up there in the Heisman Watch? Now, for the last pick, I didn't want to pick another quarterback, aka Deshaun Watson, and I'm really torn between Donnell Humphrey of San Diego State or Jabril Peppers of Michigan. And a San Diego State running back, he leads the nation in rushing yards, and I don't believe it's even close. And he has a chance. He's on pace to break Barry Sanders' single-season rushing record, which would be huge and should make you especially with the running backs that have been getting the Heisman Trophy, that should put Donnell in the Heisman discussion and a trip to New York. Jabril Peppers, on the other hand, he's played, 13 positions this season alone. He's listed as a linebacker, but he's also a DB. They project him to be a DB in the NFL. Some even say linebacker. I think he's more of a DB. He's played receiver. He's played running back. He does just about everything on special teams as a returner and as a defender. He's doing everything. Against Illinois, he contributed in all 3 phases of the game. If he continues to put up these kind of performances, he could become the second ever primary defensive player to win the Heisman. Can you guess the first one? Went to the same school. It's Charles Woodson as a junior at Michigan. Now, Jabril Peppers, his stats aren't the prettiest when you look at everything. He's 37 total tackles, 27 solo, 3 sacks, surprisingly 0 interceptions this season so far. Season's not over yet. He's got to get some picks, though. 10 carries. On the offensive side, he's got 10 carries, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And as a receiver, 1 catch, 5 yards. It's awesome what he's doing, being able to play just about every position. But when we're looking at the best player in college football, I mean, we got to look at the stats as well, and it's got to boost up a little bit. I mean, now he definitely does make an impact on the field, with the opposing team, always making sure they know where number 5 is. And that is in consideration as well. But when you also have a running back who might break the single-season rushing record in college football history, is he better than Jabril Peppers? Probably so. But I wanted to go with Peppers. It's probably the popular pick. Probably should have just gone with the San Diego State running back. Let me know who is in your Heisman Watch. Tweet me at Short Sports Show and become a fan on Facebook, The Short Sports Show. Now we're going to go, not a whole lot of college football news. We're going to go through the predictions for this week. We got 5 of the best games and most interesting games. First up is number 10, West Virginia, going on the road to play Oklahoma State. Now, West Virginia is in the driver's seat of the Big 12. They host all the big teams. They still got to play Oklahoma. Guess what? It's in Morgantown. They still got to play Baylor in Morgantown. Last tough test on the road is at Oklahoma State. At Oklahoma State. With Oklahoma State not being ranked and still wanting to get not only bowl eligible, but a very good bowl game, this would be a huge win against a top 10 team and keeping their hopes alive of something positive in the Big 12. West Virginia is a 4-point favorite. Game's on Fox at 11 a.m. Central Time. West Virginia just straight up manhandled TCU last week. It hurt. It hurt to watch it. But I saw it coming. I saw West Virginia beating us. Oklahoma State, on the other hand, they struggled with Kansas last week. It was good to see another Big 12 team struggling with Kansas and the name not being TCU. Oklahoma State, I like James Washington a lot. Mason Rudolph, a very good quarterback. Being at home, fans around them, early kickoff, should be able to put Oklahoma State in some really good positions to be successful on the field and put West Virginia in some unfavorable positions. But I think West Virginia still pulls it off with the W. I think West Virginia is just a more complete team. Now everybody is really buying in. They are a top 10 team. They are making some noise. And shockingly, West Virginia is and should be recognized as a college football playoff hopeful. They really have a chance here. They're undefeated. They go on the road and beat Oklahoma State. That's another W. You beat Oklahoma. You beat Baylor later in the season. And Texas. Boom. Why should they not be considered? It's going to be hard when you look at a undefeated West Virginia team to a one-loss Louisville, one-loss Clemson. It's going to be tough, but I think West Virginia gets it done, and that should be an interesting storyline going through to finish out the year. Next game, we have number 2 Michigan on the road against a shockingly 2-5 or 2-6 Michigan State team. 11 a.m. kickoff on ESPN. Michigan is a 23.5-point favorite. I don't know if I believe Michigan's going to beat them 23.5 points. Now, obviously, Michigan State is down this season, but they're not out. They are not out. Yes, they are out of winning the Big Ten, but this is a rivalry game. It's at East Lansing. There's no way Michigan walks in there and beats them 23 or 24. Well, basically 24 plus points. Michigan's really good. Definitely a college football national championship type of team. I just don't see them winning 24 plus points against Michigan State. I do see them winning this game. Michigan State wants something crazy to happen as like what happened last year. Don't see that happening, but a lot closer game than I think people expect. Going with Michigan to win, though. Number 4, Washington goes on the road to play number 17, Utah at 2:30 p.m. Central Time on Fox Sports 1. Washington Huskies are a 10-point favorite. I'm taking the Huskies all the way, and this should solidify Washington's spot not only as basically the Pac-12 champion, but as well as a college football shoe-in with a big win over Utah. Has to happen. Number 7, Nebraska goes on the road to play number 11, Wisconsin, 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. Wisconsin is a 9-point favorite, and I'm taking Wisconsin here. Nebraska struggled last week with Purdue, at home. They struggled in Lincoln against Purdue. Not good. Not good at all. They came out flat. And Wisconsin is just a much tougher team. And I think they want to show that they could still win the Big Ten and have some things happen. Beating Nebraska can definitely help them. Taking Wisconsin. And finally, the last game, number 3, Clemson goes on the road to take on number 12, Florida State at 7 p.m. Central Time on ABC. Clemson is a 4.5-point favorite. I am taking Clemson here. Florida State comes off a bye week. Should help them out. I'm still taking Clemson here. Deshaun Watson, if he has a huge game, definitely puts him back in there in the Heisman contending area. He struggles. Clemson barely wins. Going to be disastrous for Clemson. Clemson cannot afford to lose this game. They lose this game, college football playoffs are out for them. They're done. Have to win this game against Florida State. I believe they will. Clemson gets the W.
Today's show is sponsored by InnerGrind. Based out of Houston, Texas, let former Texas State linebacker Michael Rakpo help you reach your fitness and nutrition goals. With personal training classes that start at $40 a session, why not be a part of this rising program? Now, whether your goals are to lose weight, gain muscle mass, find the right off-season program, or even for you ladies out there to get that booty blast, you can do it all with InnerGrind. Not a Houston area, not a problem. InnerGrind has a program that is personalized just for you. InnerGrind has everything you need to meet your personal and healthy goals. NFL linebackers like Titans Brian Orakpo, Chiefs Derrick Johnson, Buccaneers running back Charles Sims, and San Diego Chargers cornerback Craig Mager, along with many other young athletes, have already begun. Find your personalized workout and nutrition plan at InnerGrind.com and call 832-475-2829. That's InnerGrind.com, 832-475-2829. Unleash your inner grind.
Moving on to the NFL, and the New York Jets once again have quarterback drama. How many times have we said that this season or over the past 2 years? It took another turn for the Jets. They went ahead and said, Ryan Fitzpatrick, you're done. We're starting Geno Smith. We're going to go on with him. Hopefully he can save our season somehow. Well, an MRI showed that it is a torn ACL for Geno Smith, and he is out for the year, and his Jets career is all but over. The Jets now are back with Ryan Fitzpatrick. They'll play against the Cleveland Browns, who have, hey, at least they're not Cleveland, right? Not only are they winless, they've started, 6 different quarterbacks this season alone? We've only played 7 games. Yeah. Now, again, Geno Smith, will be a free agent next season. Doesn't look like he's going to factor into the team's long-term plans, especially after not being able to stay healthy, which obviously is unfortunate, but also haven't really produced the way he should have. So he's all but done. Fitzpatrick is in, and he's really the only viable option for this team. Bryce Petty apparently still is not ready after being in the league now for a second year and not being able to show enough in preseason. He also got hurt, and he's just now returning. He returned to practice only 2 weeks ago from preseason shoulder injury. So there's that. And according to Bowles, he already said he's not ready to start. And he feels the same way with Christian Hackenberg, who they drafted kind of early and shockingly. And he hasn't shown that he's ready to step in the NFL. Now, Petty, he will be the number 2 quarterback. And Bowles said that he's not going to dress 3 quarterbacks. So Christian Hackenberg will sit. And they've got to hope that either Ryan Fitzpatrick can keep it going. And I honestly, no. Scratch that. I think even if he goes bad, I think if he does bad, they're going to stick with Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're going to continue to stick with him because you cannot sit Ryan Fitzpatrick. You cannot bench him after this game against the Browns, in which they should win. And Fitzpatrick, because of the Browns' defense, should look pretty good. But I think, going 2-3 games more into the season, and if Fitzpatrick has another 4-interception game or 3-interception game and just loses badly, you cannot bench him, start Petty or Hackenberg at that point, and then if they continue to struggle, you can't switch back to Fitzpatrick at the end of the year. I mean, technically, yes, they could, but then you just look stupid as management. They are now basically stuck with Ryan Fitzpatrick and that $12 million that they ended up signing him with. and just hoping for the best. That's all they can do. But you also look at it from another side and possibly start thinking, well, what if we go ahead and start Fitzpatrick, play it out the whole year, and hope that we suck and lose these games and basically try to get a top 3, top 5 overall pick and draft one of the quarterbacks. Because Fitzpatrick is also done with the Jets, and you're also done with Geno Smith, so you're losing your top 2 quarterbacks. Bryce Petty, you're saying he's not ready. Hackenberg's still not ready. Are you going to be comfortable with going into the season with those 2 quarterbacks next year? I don't think so. I do not think so. So we'll have to see what happens with the Jets. The Miami Dolphins running back Arian Foster is calling it quits. At 30 years old, he released a letter on his decision to retire on Monday. Quote, "There comes a time in every athlete's career where their ambition and their body are no longer on the same page. I've reached that point," end quote. Foster had been a 4-time Pro Bowler for the Houston Texans before he had suffered a torn Achilles tendon in October 2015 and was released the following March. He signed a 1-year, $1.5 million deal with Miami 1 week before training camp. He finishes with his career of 6,527 rushing yards, 54 touchdowns, and he left Houston as a franchise record holder in rushing yards. And now Foster, he had one starting job in preseason with the Miami Dolphins, but his tenure as a starter lasted only 2 games. He injured his groin and hamstring for, the 100th time in his career, in Miami's Week 2 loss to the New England Patriots, and missed the next 3 games. And, of course, Jay Ajayi has just been an incredible running back the past 2 weeks. And for anybody who has him on their fantasy team, congratulations. And if you lost with Jay Ajayi after his back-to-back 200 rushing yard games, shame on you. Delete the app. Unbookmark on your computer of fantasy football, no matter where you're playing at, and just quit football. If you lost with Jay Ajayi in your starting lineup, you're bad. Anyways, back to Arian Foster. Yeah, I've honestly never really too much liked Arian Foster, and just mainly because he continued to get hurt over and over again, and just somewhat of his attitude when he would get hurt. I don't know. It just did not really like him too much. And honestly, the Dolphins, they don't need him. Jay Ajayi's getting it done. And Arian Foster, best of luck to you. But can't say you're going to be missed around here. The New York Giants, and here's a question. I should have made this a topic to talk about. We'll just keep this here on the audio version only. So the Giants have now released kicker Josh Brown on yesterday, Tuesday, days after his admission that he abused his wife became public. The team said that it was misguided in its previous attitude toward Brown. Quote, "We believed we did the right thing at every juncture of our relationship with Josh. Our beliefs, our judgments, and our decisions were misguided. We accept that responsibility." And it all comes after Brown, when he just released a statement again yesterday on Tuesday, apologizing and saying he has, quote, "taken measures to get help for his alleged domestic abuse and wants to be a voice of change and not a statistic." And then he went on to say, quote, it is important to share that I never struck my wife and never would," end quote. Wasn't last week he just said that he treated her like a slave or something, that he viewed himself as a god and he treated her like a slave? And I thought he went on to say that he did abuse his wife. I must have misread something, but I swear I thought he said that. And if you're saying you want to be a voice of change and not a statistic, well, if you never hit her, what statistic are you talking about? Now, obviously, there's verbal abuse, and that is just as bad as well. But you can't really be a voice of change and not a statistic if you didn't do anything. Here's another problem that I have. Giants, okay, you feel misguided, or maybe they, basically they know they should have released him sooner, and they didn't. And so they took a little flack for it, and now that they're doing, that's why they're saying misguided. All right, whatever. Don't care. The problem I have with this is that Josh Brown is still going to collect his base salary of about $1.15 million. He'll still get paid normally. He's still going to be on the commissioner's exempt list, which is good. That's awesome, fine. But the fact that he's still going to be able to get paid with all of this, and then you look at the Ray Rice situation, how that all went down, kind of bothers me a little bit. It bothers me. The NFL issued a statement Tuesday afternoon saying that as a free agent, Brown, quote, may enter into a player contract with a new team, but upon doing so, he will revert to the commissioner's exempt list pending resolution of the review of his matter under the personal conduct policy, end quote. Now, he was already suspended for the 2016 season opener after his arrest in a domestic violence case from 2015 in May, which he was not charged. This wasn't the first time, ladies and gentlemen. Brown appeared in 5 games for the Giants before being placed on the exempt list. I don't know. I see a problem with it, that he's still getting paid. I think there should be a clause in every contract when a situation happens like this. The money is either hold unless he is found not guilty, and then whatever they could get back to being paid like they normally would when they get cut. Or if he is found guilty, the money is cut off. It's done. It should be in the CBA. It should be in the NFL Players Association thing. This should be something that needs to be changed, where players who are in this type of situation of they've physically had a domestic abuse incident, they should not get paid after being cut from a team. They should not be paid. Their contract should be void after that. If they're really serious about fixing domestic abuse incidents throughout the league, that's one way to get it done. Because the players' money is a lot what they're thinking about. And you cut that and you take that away from them, and their contract then becomes void. And they're cut from a team, and then if they come back and they're signed by a team, they have to be suspended X amount of games. It's really going to change some things. I really think it would. Let's see if the NFL is smart enough to actually do something, though. The New England Patriots added linebacker depth on Tuesday by acquiring Kyle Van Noy from the Detroit Lions, and they ended up trading away one of the tight ends with the Broncos later. So in this first deal with Detroit, New England will exchange its 6th round pick in the 2017 NFL Draft for the Lions' 7th round slot, and they also, of course, get Kyle Van Noy, who I feel like the Patriots. Anytime the Patriots make a trade, pick somebody up, pay attention. Pay attention. Understand why they're doing it, because 99.9% of the time, the player they end up picking up or acquiring becomes a pretty good player. They could have sucked. You could have never heard of them before. You definitely hear about him a couple weeks later with the Patriots. Kyle Van Noy, I do remember him, played at BYU. Didn't work out for the Lions. Guarantee you he's going to work out for the Patriots. Guarantee you this guy is going to get some sacks. He's going to make some plays. And the Patriots are going to look very smart for giving away a 6th round pick for a guy who is going to be pretty freaking good. Really is. So it's always important to see when the Patriots. That's why I put it on here. It's always important. Now the Patriots, they ended up making another trade with also the deadline, NFL deadline, I believe is today, the trade deadline. I believe it is today at 4 p.m. Eastern time or Central time, somewhere around that. The Patriots traded away A.J. Derby, a tight end, to the Denver Broncos for what sources said was a 2017 5th-round draft pick. So, gave away, and they picked up another 2017 pick. Not bad. Not bad. They get Kyle Van Noy. They get a 7th-round pick. They swap 6th and 7th-round picks in 2017, and they gain a 5th-round pick. Patriots know what they're doing. They really do. One of the other topics, our last topic of football this week, is it time for the Chicago Bears to move on from Jay Cutler? Bears quarterback Jay Cutler said Tuesday that John Fox had no choice but to support him as the starter after Brian Hoyer's injury. He also said that he is putting off discussions about his future with the team until after the season. Now, Jay Cutler, who's 33 years old, addressed the media for the first time since he suffered a sprained thumb in Week 2 against the Philadelphia Eagles. On Monday, he was cleared to return from injury, and when asked by reporters whether he feels that he has Fox's trust, this is what he said.
Didn't have a choice, I guess, at this point. I mean, Brian's out, so I got to go. I've had good conversations with Foxy this week, last week, the week before. There's never been any strain in our relationship. Both very open and honest, and we're on the same page. We just want to win football games. Anytime you have a backup quarterback, and I mean, to Brian's credit, he played well. I think as a team, we wish we would have won some more of those ball games, but Brian went in there and did a great job. My discussions with everybody that I have relations with in here were positive, and whenever I was ready to go, I'd be ready to go.
Yeah, a lot of confidence there. Hoyer suffered a broken left arm last Thursday against the Green Bay Packers, and he underwent surgery on Sunday and expected to be out 7 to 8 weeks. But really, it doesn't matter when he's expected to be back because he's not going to be the starting quarterback for the Bears again. So it doesn't matter. Now, although the Bears went 1-4 without Cutler, he said Hoyer did a great job in his place. He also said he didn't worry about his status on the depth chart when he came back. That when he was healthy enough to play, he knew he was going to come back and be the starting quarterback. As for his future with the Bears, Jay Cutler said that's a discussion for another day. Quote, I think those conversations are for the end of the year, end quote. Now, here comes the reason why the Bears should be ready to move on and maybe, scratch that. Just ready to move on. Cutler is still under contract through 2020. Here comes the fun part for a lot of Bears fans that are ready to move on from Jay Cutler, ready to move him out. None of the remaining $78.7 million is guaranteed. That money that he's owed, not guaranteed at all. None of it, not one penny, is guaranteed. So the Bears would only carry over $2 million in dead money, which honestly, it sounds like a lot to us normal folks, but that is nothing. That is a dime. That is some change that I have under here. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing in dead money on their salary cap if they were to release them after this season. So after the season's over, they cut them, $2 million in dead money. That's it. Instead of going on with the contract and fulfilling the $78.7 million. Not a bad idea, especially when you're going to have a top 5 pick overall and you have a chance to get Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Kaiser, whichever it might be, or maybe Brad Kaya. A lot better than Jay Cutler, who's 33 years old, terrible ego, terrible person, and bad quarterback just as bad. So, as for any Bears fans, let me know if you're ready to move on from Jay Cutler. I'm not a Bears fan, but I think Bears fans should be ready to move on from Jay Cutler. Let the season just end as quick as possible. Have some kind of highlights. Don't trade Alshon Jeffrey. I did see the report that the Eagles are trying very hard to get Alshon Jeffrey. They want a long-term contract first with him. They want him to sign a long-term contract, then trade him. That way he stays with the team longer. I don't think the Bears should just completely rehaul. You get rid of Alshon Jeffrey, you get rid of your offense. You got to have some type of bright spot, and especially when you're going to draft a young quarterback most likely in that first round, you have to give him an all-star receiver like that. It's only going to help him get better, gain more confidence. Gaining more confidence equals better performance equals wins. Wins equal playoffs. Playoffs equal a chance at the Super Bowl. That's just how I feel. Bears, don't do that part. Get rid of Jay Cutler. Or trade him. I mean, they have till today. They could trade him. Or whenever this video is posted, they had until Wednesday if they don't trade him. Oh, well. I don't think they will trade him. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up. Maybe the Browns? Huh? Give him Jay Cutler. Give him Jay Cutler. And Browns have like 14 more picks in next year's draft, so it doesn't matter if they trade him. But they won't. Let's go ahead and do predictions before we move on to the NBA and then wrap up the show. 4-3 Lions going against the 4-3 Texans. The reason I picked this game out of all the other games is the fact that the Lions started off pretty badly. And right now, to this point, they're 4-3. On the opposite side, you have the Houston Texans, who started off pretty good. Now 4-3, and they're pretty bad right now. Brock Osweiler has shown that he is definitely not worth several $1 million and not the $72 million contract that he received. I thought it was funny, that picture that someone put up. They had a Halloween costume, and it had a guy in a trash can that's all decked out with Houston Texans gear and has number 17 on it. Basically, Brock Osweiler being trash, and you could buy it for $72 million on eBay right now. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, and it's basically true, because he's playing like trash. He looks terrible. Broncos fans should be wiping the sweat off of their forehead to say thank God they did not sign Brock Osweiler, that he did not come back and say, you know what, I'll go ahead and take the money that you guys offered. Because while Trevor Siemian is not a elite quarterback, he's a game manager, he's getting it done, and that's all that matters. Texans, on the other hand, you have a really good offense. Lamar Miller, pretty good running back. Some really good wide receivers, yet you cannot put up points. You cannot move an offense down the field. It's bad. So I am taking, even though the Houston Texans are a 3-point favorite, I'm taking the Detroit Lions. Taking the Detroit Lions because their offense, really good. Texans defense, pretty good as well. But Lions, pretty bad offense, or pretty bad defense. Texans, really bad offense. Taking the Lions here on the road. And man, can you believe it? Just a few weeks ago, we were ready to count out the Lions, and then they would be 5-3 with the win. The 2-5 Jets taking on the 0-7 Browns at 12 p.m. Central Time on CBS. There was no line for this game just yet. I am taking the Jets to win this game. The poor Browns. I hope they can get a win. I don't want them to go 0-16. It's been the year of Cleveland this past year. Their NHL team, obviously the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Indians just won last night, 6-0 in Game 1 of the World Series. And they look pretty good as well. Browns, you're not going to win the Super Bowl. You won't make the playoffs. But you're most likely getting the number 1 overall draft pick. So that's a victory. That's a victory. And yeah, I think the Jets just come back and get this win. You have the 3-1 Arizona Cardinals. 3 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. Going against the 1-5 Panthers on Fox at 12 p.m. Central Time. Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite somehow. Guessing because they're at home. But the Carolina Panthers definitely need this. Not only to try to keep some sort of season alive, but also to just be able to maintain each other. This has been one of the weirdest seasons. A team that has went to the Super Bowl and probably should have won it. Probably should have been able to make more plays and win that game. Has now fallen to 1-5 the following season. The last team to do that, guess who? Yep, the Carolina Panthers. After losing to the New England Patriots and posting, I believe they were 12-4 that season. They come back the following season and they started off 1-4. Carolina's now 1-5. Panthers have to win this game. I think they do. I think Arizona's offense is it's in a bit of a ruck right now, and I think the Panthers are able to do something with it. Keep the season alive for Carolina, going with the Carolina Panthers. The 4-2 Green Bay Packers go on the road to the 4-3 Atlanta Falcons at 3:25 p.m. Central Time on Fox. Atlanta is a 3-point favorite, and I'm taking the Packers here, and this would be something. If the Falcons go 4-4, it brings it back a lot of reminders of what happened last season when they started off 6-0 and then they just dropped and lost just about every game following the rest of the year. Falcons somehow lose to the San Diego Chargers. It's weird because as a Chargers fan, you start seeing, I won't stick on this too long, but you start, the whole season, the first half, it's just like, we're pretty bad. And then now you're seeing a lot more articles about, hey, maybe the Chargers are actually really good. Maybe they've got something going because they used to be a very slow starting team. They would always start like 3-4, something like that. And then they would bounce back and somehow end up 11-5 at the end of the year. Maybe the Chargers have something ready. And the Falcons, on the other hand, starting to fall apart here. I don't think you hit the panic button if the Falcons were to lose this game, because you would lose to a really good Green Bay Packers team. Also a team that has a couple extra days of rest because they played on Thursday night the past week. So, won't hit the panic button because the offense for the Atlanta Falcons is still really good. The NFC South is a weak division. They still have a few more wins available to them. So, I'm picking the Packers here. Falcons, just relax. Just relax. And if the Packers lose this game, not hitting the panic button either. Finally, the last game, Sunday Night Football. The 4-2 Philadelphia Eagles go on the road to take on the 5-1 Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is starting for the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Romo is, quote, still not ready, end quote. It doesn't matter when he's ready because he ain't playing. Dallas is a 4.5-point favorite. 7:30 p.m. Central Time on NBC. And honestly, Philadelphia Eagles, they shocked me. Shocked a lot of us. They hosted the Minnesota Vikings last week and honestly dominated the Minnesota Vikings. Went against a pretty good defense, and Carson Wentz didn't look too bad. Was ready, was calm, in the pocket, poised, read the field, really good if you think about it. Really good. And the Philadelphia Eagles got the win. The Eagles defense has stepped up tremendously. What was once a very weak defense last year has come on strong this season. The only thing killing them is penalties. Penalties, turnovers, that's it. You can limit penalties very easily. You do that, less turnovers happen. This will be an interesting game. Dez Bryant is expected to play. For the Dallas Cowboys. I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys to win this game because that's what I said a few weeks ago if this matchup were to happen. I did not expect the Eagles to beat the Vikings, though. So that says something. Definitely says something about the Philadelphia Eagles. I would not be shocked if the Eagles win this game. Everybody knows what's on the line for both of these teams. Cowboys coming off the bye week, getting healthier, rested up, watched plenty of film on the Eagles now. And Dak Prescott, this is your time. This would be terrible if Dak Prescott does not play well and or if they lose. The reason being is because you know what the media is going to do? It's time to get Romo back in there. He couldn't win a big major Sunday Night Football showdown against a division rival in a big game that they needed to win to maintain a good lead in the NFC East. It's time for Tony Romo, blah, 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 blah. A Dak Prescott win ends all of that noise, no matter what. Going with the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. It's going to be a fun game. I'm going to go plan to watch it with some family because this is going to be a really fun game to watch. And also, I like to see my family when they go crazy over the Cowboys games. So, Cowboys are my pick. Let's move on to the NBA. But first, support the show on Patreon if you haven't already.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the show, but I want to say first off, thank you for all of your support. Without you, I'd just be some guy talking into a microphone. And I got some amazing news. I recently joined Patreon. And in case you're wondering, Patreon is an amazing way for you to earn some sweet rewards by supporting the Short Sports Show. I promise you, you will love the perks, and your support will help build this show. Go to www.patreon.com/theshortsportshow and view the amazing rewards you would get directly from me to you by donating to the show. The link is in the description, so when you have some time, check it out. And again, thank you for listening and supporting the Short Sports Show. Now back to me rambling on about something. And we'll move on to the NBA, and I'm trying to think. Chandler Parsons will not be cleared in the Memphis Grizzlies season opener as the team continues to exercise caution in his return from the second surgery on his right knee. Head coach David Fizdale, Fizdale, I'm messing up words today. Told reporters on Monday that was the primary reason the Dallas Mavericks did not attempt to re-sign Parsons.
Parsons, who ended up signing a 4-year, $94 million maximum contract with the Grizzlies in free agency. He's ended the last 2 seasons with season-ending knee surgeries. Mavericks probably played it smart here. Now, last night we saw Derrick Rose return, and in a new uniform, of course, with the New York Knicks. And he showed, given what the team's performance was against Cleveland, he showed some really good playmaking abilities that we were used to seeing. But before that game, when I was putting the show together, he was talking about he believes he can be back to the elite status. And I want to know, can Derrick Rose regain that elite status this season? He believes he fits that description, and that it's only a matter of time before he shows it to others. Now, Rose was asked after next practice on Monday if he wants to show this season that he's still an elite point guard. Quote, "Yeah, but I know I am. That's no surprise to me. It's only a matter of time until I put it all together. All the hard work I put in, everything's how I dedicated my whole life to this game, what I've sacrificed. It's only a few that did it, and that's doing it. So it's all about just putting it together. It's only natural for players to have confidence in their abilities, of course, but Rose's production in recent years has fallen short of anything of elite. Last season, he averaged 16.4 points on 42% shooting with 4.7 assists per game for a Bulls team that missed the playoffs. Since 2011 season, in which Rose won the MVP award, Rose has dealt with several significant knee injuries. Due to those injuries and various others, the 28-year-old has played in less than 40% of his games in the last 5 seasons. Now, Rose, he missed a little over 2 weeks in training camp earlier this month while attending a civil trial in Los Angeles over allegations that he and 2 friends gang raped an ex-girlfriend. He returned to the Knicks on Friday after the jury found Rose and his 2 friends not liable for the accusations. He also spent the last 4 days working with coaches and teammates ahead of the Knicks season opener against the Cleveland Cavaliers, in which they lost last night to that. So, with that being said, can Rose regain it? I don't think he can regain the elite status, because when you think of elite, you're thinking of Kevin Durant, Curry, LeBron. I wouldn't even go as far as saying Carmelo is elite anymore. So, for him to regain that elite status at the end of the season, I don't think so. But I think we can say, if he stays healthy and what he showed last night, that he can be a very good point guard and back to being someone who you can rely on, which we haven't been able to say for the past 5 seasons. So, the elite, I think, is a stretch. But back to being a really good player, a reliable player, I believe so. If he stays healthy, that's him. Now, amid reports that the NBA and the National Basketball Players Association have agreed on a 7-year extension of their collective bargaining agreement, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver clarified that while both sides are closer, a deal has not yet been reached. The current collective bargaining agreement between the NBA and the NBPA runs through June 2021, with both sides holding the right until December 15th to express intent to opt out in 2017. Now, negotiations on the last CBA led to a 5-month work stoppage that lasted until December 2011 and shortened the 2011-12 season by 16 games, making only the second time in the league history that a labor impasse led to a reduced schedule. And with the league in a healthy state and money flowing into the game at unprecedented levels, you know damn well that there's strong motivation on all sides to avoid a work stoppage this time around. And they should get a deal here pretty soon. Our last topic of the show today, to wrap it all up, are 5-fold locks for the 2016-17 NBA season. These are my locks, my picks. Wrap up the show. And when I go, it's 1 through 5, but I'm not, saying 1 is the most important or whatever. It's just boom, 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 right? Just came to my mind. Number 1, the Oklahoma City Thunder will make the playoffs. Look at the recent teams and look at what it takes to get in the playoffs. You need a really good point guard. Well, Thunder have a really great one. And then you need a good big man. Steve Adams, he showed that he could be that guy. That's what the Thunder still have. That'll be enough to get 40-plus wins this season, even in a tough Western Conference that should be much improved this year. You know what would be amazing to see? An 8th seed Oklahoma City Thunder against a 1 seed Golden State Warriors to open up the playoffs. Woo! I would love to see that. I would definitely love to see that. Let's make it happen. Oklahoma City, don't worry, guys. You're making the playoffs. Number 2. This, you know what? No. Should I say this one? Nah, we could go ahead and go with this. Number 2. The Portland Trailblazers will make the Western Conference Finals. Yes, sir, you heard it here first. Damian Lillard, who put on an impressive game last night, a huge win over Utah Jazz. The Trailblazers will make the Western Conference Finals this year. That's a lot. That's a bold lock right there, and I'm taking it. I know I'm wearing my Lakers gear. I'm a Lakers fan. We're just not ready. But speaking of the Lakers, Brandon Ingram will win Rookie of the Year. I'm going with it. I'm going with him. The Lakers' first-round pick will be green-lighted very early this season by Luke Walton to fire away. Just put up those shots. Just shoot them out there when you get a clean look. When you feel you got a clean look. That's what he did during the preseason, and he looked very freaking good in the preseason. It's what I think he's going to do again. And also with Ben Simmons missing majority, if not all, of the 2016 season, it's Ingram's award to lose. Ingram's got it. Rookie of the Year. Number 4, LeBron James will win his fifth league, most valuable player of the award. MVP goes to LeBron. Relax. Here's why. Not Kevin Durant, not Curry. Here's why. Cleveland is poised for another 60-plus win season. Once again. That's also going to be atop of the Eastern Conference. Because we all know the Eastern Conference is just kind of garbage. So his candidacy gains a little bit more steam with that. When you have a 60-plus win season, top of the Eastern Conference, and what you've already accomplished. This is the first season LeBron James has no pressure. He's not the villain anymore. He's not, what is he going to do next? Pressure's off of him. All the pressure is on teams in the West. You got different storylines for each team in the West. All the way from one of the worst teams in the Lakers right now and how they're going to look to the best team of the Warriors of how they can put it all together, especially after last night's 29-point thumping by the Spurs. And the Spurs have questions. Trailblazers have questions. Everybody. All the media is on the West right now. Eastern side, Ron's got his ring. He brought the ring to Cleveland. No pressure. There's nothing that is putting all the attention on LeBron. Of course, he gets attention. Of course, the media's still going to talk about him. I'm not just saying that they write him off, but what is there left to prove for LeBron James? LeBron could post one of his all-around best seasons of his career this year. He really could, and especially the way he played last night, where everything was rocking for them. Again, it's one game out of 82, but right now, I believe LeBron James, my bold lock, wins the 5th MVP award. Lastly, the Golden State Warriors will beat Cleveland 6 games to regain the NBA championship this season. With Klay Thompson, not Steph Curry, not KD, not Draymond Green. Klay Thompson will be the Finals MVP as well. Let's throw that. That's combined. All the focus is going to be on Durant and Curry, of course. That gives Thompson lanes to take clean shots and bring back the title to the Bay Area. What are your bold takes and locks of the year? Tweet me at Short Sports Show. Become a fan on Facebook of the Short Sports Show. Links are in the description down below. Let me know your top 5 bold takes. Do you agree with this top 5? What would you change? Let me know. Yep. Kevin Durant came ready to play in his Golden State Warriors debut in front of a sold-out home audience. His teammates didn't, though. Not at all. Kevin Durant went for a team-high 27 points on 10 of 17 shooting in 37 minutes. Also with 10 rebounds. He was a lone bright spot for the Warriors as they lost their season opener in a blowout fashion to the San Antonio Spurs 129-100 on Tuesday night. He was feeling it. But the same couldn't be said about the supporting cast. Draymond Green had probably the best quote. Quote, "I'm sure the story tomorrow will be KD broke up the chemistry and we can't win with KD." And all these other things going on, and all these other things which is going to come with the territory, end quote. They struggled to get consecutive defensive stops and were unable to put together a legitimate comeback. Meanwhile, the Spurs continue to pile on. How about this? Curry went on to say, quote, "It was a nice slap in the face." Curry had 26 points as well. The Spurs were the aggressors, killing the Warriors on the glass. 55 rebounds to 35, including a 21-8 offensive board comparison. 21 offensive boards for the Spurs, 8 for the Warriors. And this is what everybody was talking about when they got KD and who they gave up. They lost the big men. They lost the consistency down the court. It looks like it's showing. 21-8. And second chance points were also in favor of the Spurs, 26-4. The Warriors bench was outscored 54-16, led by San Antonio Spurs' Jonathan Simmons, who produced a career high 20 points. Golden State was 7 of 33 from 3-point range. Now, again, I'm not hitting the panic button on the Warriors. I just told you my top 5 locks, and I have the Warriors winning the NBA championship. So I'm not panicking or alarmed by this loss. But it does show, one, this should be a awesome news for the San Antonio Spurs and Spurs fans all over. To know that you went on opening night, traveled to Oracle Arena, and you beat the Warriors by 29 points. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. The Warriors, on the other hand, they shouldn't panic. This should wake them up to say, hey, it kills the whole undefeated streak, though, which is good. Because that would have been terrible had they gone 20-0 and then everybody's talking about it. It might have honestly just hurt them. This is good. The Lakers play tonight. Just don't lose, Lakers. Don't lose opening night. Come on. That is it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you're listening on iTunes, please go give this show a rating. It does the show wonders. Thank you guys so much, no matter where you're listening to on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker.com, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, wherever it might be. Thank you guys so much. As always, God first, God bless. And I will see you guys next Wednesday morning. I'm out. Peace.